Hey guys, welcome back to the Python series, and here we are going to discuss about keywords, identifiers and variables. So before getting into a Python program, we should know what is meant by a keyword, okay, and what are all the keywords available in Python. Then we should know what is a variable, what is meant by an identifier, right? So starting with keyword, what is a keyword? What is meant by a keyword? So in all programming languages, so if you take all programming language, there are some reserved words, or we can say predefined words, and those words are meant for some particular purpose. Okay, so those words can be used for some particular purpose, and those words are called as keywords, right? So those are all a predefined words, or we can say those are all the reserved words for doing some particular task. So those kinds of words are termed as keywords, right? So it is not only in Python, in every programming languages we have certain keywords, okay, and that keywords cannot be used as an identifier. That is, that keyword cannot be used as a variable name or function name or module name. Okay, so we cannot use those keywords as identifiers because those keywords have some special purpose in the programming languages. So we cannot use that keywords for any other purpose. That is why we cannot use the keyword as identifiers or a variable name or a function name, right? And coming to Python, there are 33 keywords in Python. So for example, import is a keyword, okay, and global is a keyword. Here we are using import to import packages, and we are using global for declaring global variables, and we are using class here. Then there is a keyword called in and is, from, except, finally. Then del is for deletion, then break statement, continue statement, then assert, and then and, or, not, if else if, sorry, else if, then for, while, okay, as, def for defining a function, then lambda, then pass, return. So all these are keywords in Python. Then coming to an identifier. So what is an identifier? Identifier is generally a name given to variables, functions, classes or modules, etc. So why we are naming all these variables, functions and classes? In order to identify them, right? So an identifier is generally a name, and this name can be given to a variable or function or class or module, right? So an identifier is a combination of characters, digits and underscores. So you can use a variable name, a combination of characters, digits and underscores, and there are certain rules that is to be followed when we are giving name for variables, functions or class or module. Okay, so this rule is just common like the other programming languages. In all the programming languages, when you're having identifier, so you need to follow some rules. Set of rules are there, you have to follow the rules to give name for variables or functions or classes, right? And the first rule is always the identifier name should start with either alphabet, okay, either with the character alphabet, or it should start with underscore symbol. Okay, it is allowed, right? So the first rule is it should start with either an alphabet or with an underscore symbol, and apart from underscore symbol we should not use any other symbols in the name. Okay, so only we can use the underscore symbol. Other than underscore we cannot use any other symbols in the names. And the third rule is you cannot leave spaces in between the variable name. Okay, if you are writing any variable name like variable 1, okay, you should not leave space in between the variable name, right? It is not allowed. If you are leaving space like this, then you will get an error. So there should not be any white spaces between the variable name. And then the next rule is the name should not start with number, okay, digits. It should not start with digits. It should always start with either an alphabet or underscore. You should not start a variable name with digits. Also you should not use other symbols other than underscore. You should not use any other symbols. Now we will see some of the valid identifiers and invalid identifiers. So these are all the valid identifiers. If you see here, here it is a combination of characters and digits, and you can see it is starting with a character, that is an alphabet, right? And this is a valid one. And coming to the second identifier, we are starting it with an underscore. Also, there is no space left in between the name of the identifiers. Okay, and coming to the third one, here also it is a valid identifier, because the first character we are using here is underscore symbol, so it is also a valid one. And the fourth identifier that we have given here, this is also a valid one. Then coming to invalid identifiers, so these are all some of the examples for invalid identifiers. So you can see we cannot use symbols other than underscore, but here we are using exclamatory mark, so it is an invalid one. And the second one also we are using dollar symbol, which is an invalid one. And coming to third identifier, here it begins with a digit. Okay, so this should not be allowed, right? So it is considered as an invalid identifier, right? So this is all about the identifiers. Then coming to variable. So what is a variable? Variable is also a name given to a memory location. Okay, so here we are giving the name to refer the memory location. That is what a variable name is, right? And what is the use of variable? It is used to hold some values. Okay, it contains some values. That values can be of any type. It can be an integer value, or it can be a character type of value, or floating type of value, or string type of value. Whatever the value can be, whatever the type of value can be, a variable is used to hold that particular value. And the variable is a name. We are giving this name to refer a memory location. Okay, so it is a name given to memory location for reference. And these are all some of the examples for variable. Here x is a variable which contains the value 25 of type integer. And here the name is also a variable which contains the value India of type string, right? So this is all about the keywords, identifiers and variables.